Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 57 of Imperium magazine and we are greeted with our good old second Necron Tombblade mini. Fairly simple to build, exactly the same sprue as what we've had before. However, of course, you can build it slightly differently. So, if you wish to, you can have weapons down the sides, like they have in this image, or you can build the same with the weapons underneath, entirely up to you. But yeah, fairly decent. Not a bad bit of kit. Another flying fast attack unit for the Necron, so yeah, here's what it is. Into the issue itself, we are greeted by the Living Saint, Saint Celestine. So, with angelic wings, a blazing halo of light, and the ardent blade in hand, Saint Celestine is an embodiment of the God Emperor's might. Through the fire and smoke of battle, she radiates holy light, filling the faithful with strength and causing heretics to recoil in terror. So, it was said that Saint Celestine was once a sister repentia of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, and that she was slain in battle against heretics during the Palatine Schism, only to miraculously rise to life once more. For the remainder of that crusade, Celestine was a figurehead for the faithful, and she led the Ecorsaries forces to the planet Sanctus Lis, where lay the shrine of the Fiery Heart, once visited by Saint Catherine. In a secret crypt beneath a broken altar, Celestine found the golden armour of Saint Catherine and the ardent blade. When she emerged, she was borne aloft upon a column of divine radiance and attended by cherubs and doves. All who gazed upon her knelt in awe and terror. So, Saint Celestine, one of the more unique Adeptus Sororitas and one of their biggest heroes. Absolutely fantastic kind of bit of lore behind her as well, and that golden armour is absolutely resplendent as well, and also carrying the Ardent Blade, which is an absolutely brilliant weapon as well. With Celestine as well, there has been many times where she has fought in battles and crusades of faith against the Imperium's foes. She has also been downed many times, only to rise back up and continue fighting as well, and return to battle as swiftly as possible. And it is believed that as a living saint, Celestine has been granted a portion of the Emperor's power and acts as his agent in the galaxy. And for this reason, she's revered with awe and reverence by the faithful. She is also a divine champion, imbued with the Emperor's light and clad in the armour of Saint Catherine, wielding that ardent blade, being a formidable warrior as well. So really good stuff, and absolutely fantastic as well. Quite interesting to read up on her as well. A really good unit. Then we move on to one of the other war zones in the 41st millennium. This is Setosa. So as the war for Vigilus grew to consume more worlds, more and more Space Marine chapters dispatched troops to join the fight. Many months of brutal campaigning soon ensued. So, after many months of fighting, the Space Marine supplies and fuel and ammunition had begun to run low, forcing them to resupply on the world of Tauric Eve in the Setosa system. Upon their arrival, however, the world's defensive laser cannons opened fire upon them, destroying several Space Marine vessels. Space Marines' Vox networks were subject to a barrage of traitorous babble from all three Setosa worlds. Amidst the cacophony were a handful of cries from embattled Imperial forces. The Space Marines had to split their forces to assist the remaining loyalists. The Mantis warriors made for Ayat, while the Black Templars rushed to Hedarth to aid besieged Adeptus Sororitas Preceptores, and the Raven Guard began a shadow war of assassination and sabotage, eliminating cult leaders and heretic overseers as well, and they kind of battled back to retake the war zone as well over time. So took them quite a while, and there are some other Space Marines forces in play as well in that area, including the Fire Lords with their red and yellow armour, which look pretty cool. If you're interested in the Mantis warriors, they have a kind of green armour with yellow plates and pauldrons, and also a kind of a greyish white aquila on their chest as well. Then we move on, we get some more information about one of the other chapters from the Space Marines, the DEATHWATCH. So, the shield that slays. The DEATHWATCH are responsible for defending the Imperium from the predations of the galaxy's many Xenos species. For thousands of years, the DEATHWATCH have remained true to this task, drawing their numbers from almost every Space Marine chapter. So each non-human race is seen by the DEATHWATCH as a blight upon mankind's rightful domain. So, should these monsters raise their heads to strike at the Imperium, it falls to the DEATHWATCH to respond and meet them in battle. The DEATHWATCH are puritanical in their hatred of the aliens, and few understand the hideous nature of the Xenos as deeply as the DEATHWATCH. So the DEATHWATCH, one of the other kind of more unique chapters of Space Marine as well. They have obviously their own iconography with that kind of letter I, the skull and crossbones going across it as well, which was really, really cool. They also utilise a lot of hunting weapons as well, so they are alien hunters essentially. So they use sometimes Xenophase swords, DEATHWATCH frag cannons, some specialist ammunition as well, which looks absolutely nuts and seems to have a lot of really cool kind of unique traits to it as well. And yeah, they're really, really good. So pretty cool stuff. Then we get some information to do with the Adeptus Sororitas again, which is the support units essentially, so non-militant orders, including the Orders Hospitalia. So with the exception of the Adeptus Astartes, the Orders Hospitalia provide surgeons, physicians and nurses to all arms of the Imperium's military. When I can't speak. The sisters who compromise these orders show their faith by operating in horrifying battlefield conditions, removing damaged limbs and digging ammunition from the bodies of screaming soldiers. There is also the Orders Dialgus. So the sisters of the order are scholars and advisors, and they expert translators of texts both human and Xenos, holy and blasphemous. They are also skilled at breaking enemy ciphers and codes in battle. So essentially they utilise their intellect more with that one. Then there are also the Orders Famils. So the sisters of this order form a network of chamberlains, advisors and diplomats whose sacred duty it is to guide the Imperium's noble families in working towards the good of mankind. And then there are the Orders Pronatus. So the Orders Pronatus are responsible for maintaining holy relics and guarding powerful items deemed too dangerous to fall into enemy hands. So a little bit more interesting as well. So non-combative really orders as well, so they don't really tend to kind of enter the fray essentially with them ones. Then we have our building guide, fairly simple, dead straightforward. Entirely up to you how you want to build it though. I do like the guns on the side though, I must admit I do kind of like that. And there are different ways of doing that as well if you wanted to, so really good stuff. And then we get a how to paint section, dead easy. Paint it up the same way as you did before, you're not going to go wrong with it I'm sure. But yeah, you can kind of get going with it. You can make it look a bit more metallic, or you can go for a bit of a sleek black look, entirely up to you. But yeah, you can get a really nice looking unit. They also give a bit of an update about painting the Necron warriors as well, to kind of give them a bit of more of a different look, and add a little bit to them and kind of make them stand out a little bit with a bit more edge highlighting involved as well. And yeah, they'll look pretty cool when you're done with them, so really good stuff and quite interesting as well, so not bad. Then we move on to our battle for the week. So this week's battle, forcing a breach. So for your Necron units, for your HQ you can choose between the Destroyer Lord, Royal Warden and Plasmancer, and then you've got to choose between the two different army lists, entirely up to you though. So you can go with 10 Necron Warriors, another 10 Necron Warriors, 5 Immortals, 2 Tomb Blades, 2 Crypto Thralls and 1 Triarch Stalker, or you could have your 3 Skullpick Destroyers, Caliptech Plasmacite, 2 sets of 3 Scarabs, 1 Spider, 1 Wraith, 5 Flayed ones. Not bad army lists in all honesty. For your Imperium you can of course choose up them as well. So you can go with your Canoness, or you can choose your Tech Priest Dominus and your Tech Priest Engine Seer and stuff like that. It's entirely up to you. And then you got your army list, so you can have army list 1, which is 10 Battle Sisters, 5 Seraphim, 4 Repentia, 1 Repentia Superior, 3 Arco-Flagellants, 1 Penitent Engine, 3 Aggressors, 5 Assault Intercessors, and 5 Assault Intercessors. Or you can have army 2, which is your 10 Skitarii Rangers, 3 Cataphron Destroyers, your 3 Aggressors, and then 5 and another 5 Assault Intercessors. And that will give you your armies for this week's battle. Pretty cool stuff. The idea is to obviously to have it deployed on both sides, and yeah, have a bit of fun with it. Why not? Really good stuff though, and quite an interesting battle as well to do. So because you're picking out a bit more, so really good stuff. So you're actually using all of the HQ models as well. Actually, so sorry, I haven't read through the magazine beforehand. Before we move on to next week, there is also a pull-out bit for the magazine as well. So this is Warzone. So the War for Ramessus and Electia. So the War for Ramessus kind of is another one of the major war zones from the Imperium. So there is the Necrons, so the Eyes of the Triarch. So of course you have your Royal Court mentioned up here and your Triarch Stalker. And then your Fanatic Defenders of the Imperial Creed, including your Penitent Engine, your Sisters of Battle and stuff like that as well. So really good stuff. On the other pay side, it kind of breaks down into all these different areas and the kind of unique areas as well that you will be basically of key areas from within the battle for this area and the Warzone Electia as well. So really good stuff, and a bit more information about all of it as well. So pretty cool in all. Next week we are going to be getting our second Wraith. Yeah, fairly straightforward. It's a different build from the first one, so it can be changed up a little bit. We should also get a new double-sided mat as well. And then in issues 59 and 60, parts 1 and 2 of our Space Marine Outriders. So you get your building guides and everything like that for them. If I remember rightly, the sprues are kind of split across, so you'll be utilising parts from each sprue. So it's probably best to have both issues ready before you build up anything, so you can't lose parts or kind of forget where parts go, and kind of build yourself into a corner essentially with it. So, but really good stuff. A lot of stuff to look forward to with Imperium, and it's getting really good. Lots of new lore, lots of new interesting bits and pieces to learn, and some really interesting battles I can see coming up as well. So really good stuff. But for that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.